Hey everybody, I'm here with Marie Bray.
Hello, Vaughan.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Marie is one of our wonderful people in the dance studio here. And how long have we been dancing together now?
Oh, I think 6 years, isn't it?
6 years, right? And we've done a lot of things, haven't we? We've traveled around the world. We've gone to England, Blackpool dancing together.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
some of the fun things.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do out there is to share Marie's story with you because it's just amazing. First of all, how we actually met. What was one of the things that actually brought you into the dance studio?
Penny, to start off with, was
Yeah.
Penny. And wanted to dance because I lost my husband. And I wanted to do something in my life. And I just enjoyed dancing.
Oh, that's
awesome. And then I
awesome.
saw you the first time in Addison doing the beginner's lesson, and I was like, wow, these two are really great. You're brilliant.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you used it as a way to come in to sort of help with the grieving process and,
Yes.
and to find some sort of new joyful life, if you will.
It was exactly to do that, because I needed something to do with my life, because I was so lonely after a long marriage, perfect marriage. And so dancing was the way to go, and I saw you and Alison, and Penny also gave me lessons as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what was interesting was from that sort of beginning and then coming to the next 6 years of us dancing together, the last couple of months Marie's been going through, she'll tell her story in a minute, something very serious that is very inspirational as well, because she's come out on the other side, and I was like, I have to share this with you people out there because it's so inspirational. What happened a couple of months ago? What was the diagnosis? You turned up here one day in not a very good state, you were a bit upset. What happened?
What happened is I was diagnosed with Helicobacter pylori, and it was so advanced that I had ulcers in my duodenal, and I had severe gastritis.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it was severe. Everything was severe. It was painful, and, ulcers, and all sorts of awful things. Bacteria was eating away and landing on my stomach, then therefore attacking the rest of my nervous system, my brain, my eyes, just everything.
Far out.
My whole body was falling apart.
Yeah, because I'd only heard about it. I've never experienced or met anyone that's had this before, but it's very serious, isn't it?
Yes.
When you get this, because it was pre-cancer, right, at this point?
It was pre-cancer, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so then what happened? How were you in that moment when you got that news?
Well, I was actually sort of thinking, I've reached the end of my life.
Really?
Yeah, so therefore I need to do something about it to either stop it, this disease from taking over, or I would die. So I went, I spoke about my sister who's a nutritionist, and she helped me with the diet, and I saw my naturopath, and I saw the doctor, I saw a specialist, another specialist, and these are a series of tests. I'm talking about the vampire, we're taking blood out of me every day.
Yeah, no, I remember that because it was an amazing journey because we're very close, right? The studio and dancing, it's not just about dancing, it's about life a lot of the time and what's actually happening and the struggles that happen behind the scenes. And the tests that kept coming back, as time went on, you were doing a lot of those things, but the tests were getting worse as you came along, right? They were just,
exactly.
The numbers just kept increasing, which were not a good thing, you're talking things that are pre-cancer.
Yes, I mean, things were actually things were not improving for me. It was getting worse and worse and worse, and I thought, what's going to happen? And there's nothing else I can do. It just came to, but I was using self-affirmation, my own belief statement, meditation, and there was a DVD, a CD type sort of created for me personally.
Oh, that's
for
awesome.
me to listen to about myself, and loving myself and believing in myself, believing that I can heal myself. So by then changing my subconscious, I was able to actually then sort of progress towards healing myself.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the healing took place actually with the help of maybe some diet and nutrition, but also a lot of meditation and
that's good.
Yes.
That's interesting because I know you, and anyone who knows you, you're very, very on the health, right? You're great with your yoga practice, dancing a lot, very health conscious in terms of what you eat, seeing and getting specialist advice.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so inspirational is that because as you're going through this journey and you're doing the Western practices, the Eastern practices, then the diet and making sure your lifestyle's good, the mindset, right, and making sure spiritually you felt fulfilled. having a good environment to support you,
Yes.
you still getting these prognoses that were not very good, right? Because as they just kept getting worse and worse. How did you actually, so what does that mean to someone who's watching who doesn't know what this disease means? Like I remember 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, you had 100 ulcers in your stomach.
Yes.
Right? And so what does that actually mean? Like when you're in that state, how is life? What's the quality of your life even like?
Well, it was actually quite awful. Mentally, it was bad for me.
Right.
But I kept on saying, I believe in myself and I believe in God, and I believe that also that the Lord was going to help me. And I had a good team of helpers behind me, a good masseur. I did yoga, a good yogi teacher, meditation, good food. I kept on shopping fresh as much as possible.
That's good.
And so it was to do with the food preparation and also coming here and putting that aside, and then enjoyment and thinking. No,
So important.
it is.
Right.
So that was all focusing over there outside and getting well. Then I would come here. This is my time for myself to have a good time to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And it's a balance which I created was the yoga, the meditation, the food, the doctors, and all that. and we've listened to music and doing the choreography, doing my medals was something that really was the best thing I could have done for myself.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's interesting you say that because a lot of people get diagnosis like that. First thing, and it's natural, and sort of warranted to feel scared and to be like, oh, what's this mean? Where am I going to go? But you didn't tap out. That's why I respect you so much. That's why we love you so much, is because you didn't quit. You didn't tap out. And that's one of the reasons we want to share this story, is because you kept turning up, like you kept coming to dance, but you kept showing up to everything else, even though you would have been feeling some very dark nights, I'm sure, and some very scary moments. Because that was only a few weeks ago that you're talking that the numbers just kept increasing month on month. You had 100 ulcers. It's like, the next stage is full-blown cancer, I'm sure, or
Yes.
that next stage. And your mum actually passed away from it, right?
That's right, yes.
Yeah, so this is not something to be just like sneezed at. This was getting very serious. And then it was only recently that you had an opposite diagnosis. What was the diagnosis?
Eradicated.
Eradicated. I love that. That's awesome. Find that one out. Totally eradicated. That's an amazing...
Eradicated. But eradication took place with me doing the positive thing about myself as well, believing in myself that I could do it, and following what the doctors said, following what the nutritionist and the dietitian said. So following all that, and also in my idea of thinking, no, maybe I should put that aside today and try something else. I'm just going to do yoga today and meditate and do nothing else, and just kept to myself. Have a good cry too was good.
Very important. Release the emotions, right?
Yes, I did. I had the biggest cry ever.
That's awesome.
And that was actually the day after I was given the complete clear. I really burst into these tears for 2 hours. I had to call my daughter. I said, talk to me.
Yes, yeah. Your body your mind and body just need to release,
yes,
right?
but it needed. But believing that in myself and believing in the Lord, that it was guiding me all along, where I should go and what I should do. Things were falling at my steps, saying this is what you should do, what you should take, and I would follow that.
I think that's incredible, because it's again, most people hear those sorts of things and they go, wow, I couldn't do what you did. But there's a good saying, right? Believe, and your belief creates the fact. So, and then that's very important to understand. And also realize that if you are feeling sick or getting those sort of health issues, that it's not the end of the road, but there's more than one way to approach it. And it's really important you have a multifaceted approach. You look at the Western side of things, the Eastern side of things, how you think and believe about you, what your connection is to who you believe is your creator, whatever that means for you, and then tapping into a good community as well, because a good support environment is critical, and it's really hard to get that sometimes. And I know dancing did that for me. It brought me out of some very dark places. I know that's helped you as well.
Absolutely.
Right? And so it's the best, right?
Yes.
And so now you can keep going, and at the end of the day, we all reach the end of the road at some point. But the good news is, it's not today, and it's not now, and it's not because of something like what you just went through. It's just an amazing story, Marie. Is there anything out there you want to share with anyone that might help them?
What I'd say is always believe in yourself. Believe that you can actually, don't give up. There's always a way of getting well, but you have to change your diet. You have to change the way you think. You also have to eat well, take care of yourself, and keep balance. Like I'm talking about, with a bit of fun, and also exercise, as well as following a very good diet, and it does work.
Oh, that's amazing, Marie. So lovely to have you here. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for tuning in. Make sure you leave a message or a share or a like below, and we'll see you next time.